Hello and indeed welcome to another Whisky review with me, the Whisky Novice. Thank you for joining me for review number 157. We are doing a little bit of a deep dive into a distillery down in almost Cork in Ireland, Midleton. We're doing 1 month of Midleton. This is the second part of that series, and this time we're looking at their micro distillery, Method and Madness. So yes, if you are unaware, you've maybe heard the name, you're maybe seen what's going on, but weren't quite sure. Method and Madness are that. They're a micro distillery within Midleton Distillery. They are their, I suppose you could put it, their experimental leg of the distillery. Oh, the experiments that go on down there, those poor animals. I didn't mean that. Beautiful little distillery. It has two lovely beautiful little copper stills down there. It is incredible. This is in the old Midleton Distillery, so if you're ever down there as part of the tour, you actually do get a chance to see this. And when I say experimentation, what are they experimenting with? Well, the thing to remember is Irish whiskey producers, Irish whiskey law states that they can mature in wood. So whereas Scottish law states oak, Irish law states wood. So it gives them freedom then to experiment with these different kinds of wood. Now, in the case of this, the single grain, what we're looking at here today is the Method and Madness single grain. It's still oak. It's actually, this one actually it's matured in bourbon barrels, it says it here, and then finished in virgin Spanish oak. So it's all oak in this case. But you will find with some of the Method and Madness, they're using different kinds of wood just to try it. But, you know, I suppose it's one way of finding out what works and then what sticks. So this one, yes, as I said, single grain. So, and I would imagine, when we get into this, I would imagine pretty much mostly corn, although we will see. Bottled at 46%, non-chill filtered. Is the colour added? Possibly. I suppose it's one of those, it's that sort of medium colour, but they don't mention it. So we assume that there's colour added. Around the 40 to 45 pounds mark. So, you know, let's dive in, shall we? There is that typical single grain thing straight away. Sweet, it is bourbon-like. Dashboard shine. Anybody who out there drives or has ever driven a car, I'm going to suggest dashboard shine. It's that new car smell, that fresh, and the stuff that you spray to polish your dashboard, internal car stuff, virgin. It's that virgin oak thing, I think, that's pulling that round. Leather, and it is actually, yes, the virgin oak tang is there. Yeah, it definitely, that new car, weirdly that new car smell, I don't mind that at all. I actually like the smell, that new car smell. Do I like it in my whiskey? Well, it's questionable, but I just like it as a smell. I get it here. It's nice. It does actually weirdly seem to work. So, yes. Definitely polish, oak, hints of vanilla, which I would expect, corn, as I said, although I'm not convinced it's all corn. Honey, orange, and even there's one suggested on the label, a rose petal, and yes, I would agree. Yeah, there is very much so. Actually, there's a floral thing off it, and it's yet again, it's quite a nice floral thing. So yes, there's quite a lot going on. Whereas you would suggest a bourbon would be that sweet thing and all corn. And I did say a moment ago that corn, yes, not convinced it's all corn, and we'll get to that. Soft, gentle, sweet and sour arrival. Thankfully, those new car smells, that polish doesn't carry through into the palate. I do like it on the nose, I do, but I don't really want it in the palate. This is where I would stray a little from suggesting that this is all corn, because I'm getting hints of a good rye, and a good rye, not just rye, but a good rye. Mint, clove rock, cherry, some very slight licorice, hints that would all suggest to me rye. But along with that, all that vanilla, caramel, slight oak, which I would expect of a decent bourbon. So if I'm expecting that of a decent bourbon, then I'm thinking single grain again. And this is, it's that corn again. Or as we're going to say, maize here, maize in Ireland. So it's got good stuff going on. Finish. Finish, not bad. I would have said initially relatively short. It does disappear quite quickly. Initially, it's not bad. There's a nice freshness, sweetness, slight mint again. But that's all going away quite quickly. So short then. But, still reminds me of a good, partially good, some good bourbon notes, some good rye notes. As a single grain, not bad, not bad. I'm not going to add water. I remember when I did my tasting notes for this quite a while back. I usually try to do my tasting notes fairly close to when I actually record the reviews. So a lot of it's not only fresh in my mind, but then I'm maybe noticing things in the whiskey there and then and go, oh, I'll pick something else up. This I did quite a while ago. I remember adding water at the time. And it did some very poor things to it. That new car note then started to show up in the palate. Things just didn't go very well with water. So I won't be adding any here today. All in all, not bad, I suppose. If you were going to buy, it's just Method of Madness. It's not a bad introduction to what they're trying to do down in Midleton with Method of Madness, that experimentation route. There's not an awful lot of experimentation going on here. Still an awful lot of bourbon cask use. Yes, virgin Spanish oak, but I don't know that it's had that big a change on it. But definitely not a bad feel. If you like bourbon, then this would be a good place to go. If you don't like bourbon, avoid it. Can't say much more than that, so I'll not. Let's just move on. So yes, if you like this, what am I going to suggest to you? Well, I'm going to suggest a bottle that I could have swore blind I had in my collection until I went to look for it. And then I started to look back through some social media posts and realised that I killed the bottle and forgot to replace it, or hadn't replaced it. And it is this Lot 40 Rye. As I said in this review, there was times when this reminded me of a good rye. For the same price or less, buy yourself a good rye. And Lot 40, in my opinion, is one of the best. Certainly, actually, I would suggest the best rye I've had. It is a cracker. And I said there that I think probably less. I think the Lot 40 rye you'll probably pick up for the 35 to 40 pounds mark, whereas this was 40 to 45. Yeah, even weirdly now nosing this, I'm definitely getting that rye feel that I got off Lot 40. So if anyone out there is aware of the mash bill on this, could you let me know? Because I'm just interested. It's for no other reason than just pure interest, curiosity on my behalf. I would love to know how this is, what the mash bill is in this, because I'm convinced, I could be wrong, I'm convinced there's rye in it somewhere. I don't think that could be all corn. I definitely think there has to be rye in there. So yeah, anyway, if you like this, give Lot 40 rye a go. Can be sort of difficult to get in these shores, but worth looking for nonetheless. So that's that for this one. As I said, half decent. I applaud what they're doing down in with Method and Madness, that they're given the opportunity to experiment with different woods. Why not? Give it a go. Try it. Try something different. And that's what they're doing. And it's, I mean, it can be hit and miss. It can be hit and miss. This, middling. It's a bit middling. It's neither a hit nor a miss. It's not a bad single grain. So we'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. Very, very much appreciate it. Thank you very much to my patrons, if you should wish to join that group. And I'm sure some of you maybe do. Give it a shot. Check out the details in the video description below. Till the next time, my friends, here's your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.